Wombocom. No,
You can do anything at all at spacegamejunkie.com.
yeah, so let's see. So folks, we didn't have a podcast last week because
Oh,
my
because
computer exploded or something. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. I still don't know what
I
happened.
know what happened.
What happened?
You took your computer apart.
Yeah, and so
You touched it.
I
Never,
did.
never touch
I
it.
did. I did touch it,
Show us
and
on the doll where you touched the computer. What?
I
No.
did touch it. And how do you land? How the fuck do you land?
I think you go to the planet and I don't know. L.
No, it didn't do diddly shit.
Um, I don't know. I should play this game more. Beer and pretzels. Do you have any
Request
pretzels?
automatic landing. Yes, there we go.
There it
Press
is.
C.
Wow, dude,
Um,
it is privateer.
It really
in
is. It
ASCII
really
space.
is. It really is.
It's
oh my
fabulous. You know what it reminds me of a
What's
lot
that?
when
What's
you're on
that?
the ground is
God.
Auto Duel.
Is what?
Auto Duel, the old Origin game.
It was reminding me of a game that I played, Sundog. It was reminding me of Sundog.
Oh, I have never played Sundog.
It's a crazy.
Oh my god, you can walk around in your ship. That's cool. Wow. I need to make a space roguelike. I would save so much money on graphic.
So before we get into our main topic, let's just catch up real quick because I've been busy as fuck and you've been busy with stuff. So how are you doing?
Well, I had to get busy living or get busy dying. So I just got busy.
Those
Yeah.
those hoes ain't gonna slap themselves. Is that what's going on?
That's
Is
right.
that what's going on?
Oh, dude, did you see on Facebook I put the video? It's
No, I
awesome.
don't think
It's
I
just,
saw
it's
it.
how I've felt all week. It's just this guy. He's at like a picnic, and one of the kids does something, and he walks over and smacks the kid, and then somebody comes up and is like, "Hey, you can't!" And he's like, "Pow!" and smacks them, and then it's just like everybody at the frickin' barbecue like lines up, and he's just like smacking them all down,
Right.
like just slapping them on the face, and they fall over, and then yeah, so then the cops show up, and they're like, "Hey, we're the cops," and he starts like slapping them. It's just like it's the ultimate in like shut up, schmack. It's just like that. That's how I felt all week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's good. It's it's like it's work related. Let's say,
Right.
but yeah, it's that stuff that we've known was going to happen for months.
Oh.
The date has passed, right? So a bunch of dumb shit went on, but that's okay because I have a new job. I'm waiting on that phone call. It'll be fabulous. I hope they're not listening here because then they'll be like, "Hey, we don't want to hire that guy." But
No,
I'm,
I
I'm
doubt.
really nice. I'm nice. I'm so nice.
He's a good
I
guy.
don't really
People.
I
He's a good
don't
guy,
really
people.
want to slap people.
No. Why would you? That's just stupid.
Oh my God, Sorcerer King is the
Oh,
best fucking game that I
Stardock
have
has ever
ever
done.
played. Huh?
I enjoyed it. I've only played one game, and the random map generator put my city on the side of a mountain, which is the weirdest.
Excellent.
Which is like what?
Well, no,
Why?
it's defensible, man. You can
I
defend the shit out of
I
that.
suppose.
Get a magic spell. You can drop that mountain down, make it into a peaceful garden. I bought a chia pet.
Oh, what? About
Yeah.
Chia Pet?
I got the Uncle Si chia pet. In fact, the Duck Dynasty guy, because it was like $3 on Amazon. Because Joan bought a bunch of chia seeds, right? She was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do whatever, put these in salads and stuff." And then she's like, "I want to sprout them, and like put them in salads and whatever." Well, we need something to grow them on. Well,
Right.
let's get a fucking chia pet, man. So she wanted like the classic lamb or whatever, and those things were like $25. But they got Duck Dynasty on clearance because they're like Hulk Hogan now, they're unmentionable, and so it was like $5 for something, right, for the Uncle Si, and it's basically he grows a chia beard.
Right.
So that's it, man. I'm gonna have Uncle Si in the kitchen, living on the counter, growing his weed. So I
Right.
don't know. So random. So beer and pretzels, casual games stuff.
Yeah,
That's
I don't honestly remember how we got on this topic, but was some either one of us or someone talked about casual space games where you don't need a lot of time to play them
I think it
and
actually
such.
came up that night that we were doing the LucasArts stuff, and we talked about
We talked
Yoda
about
stories.
Yoda stories.
Yep. And then we were like, we need to do a show about that, and here we are. And Yoda stories didn't even make the list. I had to add it last minute. How about that?
I thought Yoda stories was on the list.
I didn't see it. I'm not observant though. It's that ADD, whatever. Hey, you want to ride bikes after this?
Let's go red bikes.
Squirrel. Oh. So I was thinking about games that aren't on the list,
Yeah, yeah.
and I have a lot of games. Well, I have a lot of games, but I have a lot of games that I don't know if you would call them like like a beer and pretzels or a coffee break game, right? It's not something where you just because it's like Master of Orion 2. Well, that's not a coffee break game, right? Although you can like pick it up and play it, and it's a simple game,
Right.
sort of
Yeah.
by modern standards. Um, but I'm thinking like there is a space for this kind of game where it's actually like, could you take Master of Orion and boil that down into a Candy Crush type
Oh
of like
well.
simple casual thing, but still keep the core gameplay there, where it's just like just give me sliders for stuff instead of making me like manage a
Right.
whole bunch of whatever, and where I could there was an old hex map game that was called like Warp Gate or something
I
like
remember it.
way back, right? And it was like it was a quick, simple game where you just like fly your ships and they'd fight and you just roll a d6. Oh, I lost, whatever. And do you remember Space Amoeba from Avalon Hill?
It does sound familiar.
So Space Amoeba, you would build ships and you'd go fight these Space Amoebas, right? I wonder if anybody ever did a computer version. Like they did a computer version of Memoir 44. It's pretty damn successful, right? That's beer and pretzels war game right there,
What's
right?
Memoir 44?
It's a World War II fairly simple
Oh.
war game. It's like an introductory war game, right? It ain't advanced squad leader or anything, that's for sure. But there's just it's like simple rules. There's not a lot of exceptions to the rules. It's just things do what they do, and it's yeah, it's easy. I haven't played it in for frickin' ever, so I can't remember specifics of how the mechanics work. But I played it on the tabletop like way back. But this thing from Avalon Hill though, Space Amoeba, and there was like three different kinds of spaceships, and I think you had space stations too, and each planet had like so much production, so you could buy whatever ships. Well, the ships had like pips on them. It would be one, two, or three dots depending on how big the ship was.
Right.
So you'd roll a d6 and add, if it was a two pip ship, d6 plus two, and that's what that guy did, right? And it was fast, streamlined stuff. And like Ogre, you remember Ogre?
I've heard of
the,
it.
the giant tank thing. Oh, if you never played that, that was really cool. There was a computer version, Origin once again, back in the day, right? They did some
Right.
good stuff. So this would translate really well into a space game, I think. So do you remember Fred Saberhagen's Berserker books? It was a bunch of short stories about basically like think Terminator in space, but instead of Skynet sending Terminators, it would send Death Stars,
Right.
right? And it's just like it just wanted anywhere it could find humanity, it was trying to wipe them out. So it would send like these giant frickin' super star destroyer size AI ships like V'ger, come and the purpose is just to nuke the planet, right?
Right.
So then the humans would have to figure out some way to stop it and whatever. So Ogre is very much like that. It's a giant tank, right? And
Right.
it's a giant AI cyber tank, and it's a juggernaut. Nothing can slow it down, and it moves, X number of inches per turn across the table, or
Right.
X hexes, and the hexes were based on like how healthy its treads are, right?
Right.
So you have and it's a very asymmetric game because one player controls this one unit, and the other player has the swarm of tanks, the little guys, tanks and infantry and stuff, and they are trying to basically, like, you can't kill it in one shot. You have to pick pieces off of it. So there's a strategy to that, right? It's like, do I shoot the anti-personnel weapons? Do I try to shoot the main guns? You know, because they've got like X number of hit points, or do I need to slow it down? I need to chisel the treads off of it, right?
Right.
And it's kind of, and it happens kind of at a big scale because I mean these things are tossing tac nukes at each other, right? So so it's it's not just like little M1 tanks or whatever. It's like huge destruction kind of thing, and it translated pretty well to a computer game because the computer plays the ogre and it just continuously comes at you, and that's all you can do is just like it's a combination of killing it and slowing it down, because if you don't slow it down, you won't have time to kill it. But if you're not trying to kill it as well, then it's going to eat up all your units. So you have to kind of half disarm it, half cripple it, and then kill it off. So, and every game of it plays differently too, right? So, um, it's a very simple game though. Like you can learn the rules in 10 minutes. Like you play that game one time and you know the rest of your life how to play ogre, right? Because it's that simple. But the thing is, the execution of it can be done in a multitude of different ways. So it's like, I don't know, it's like checkers with a lot of variables, right? So the game of checkers, well, it's easy to figure out, but every time you play against somebody, you know, they can be really good at it and surprise you. So anyway, that's my definition for like beer and pretzels thing, you know. Or another perfect example is Space Hulk.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
have
true.
you ever played the board game Space Hulk?
No, I've only played the computer version, like
Okay.
from the mid '90s. I haven't even played the newest one yet.
Oh, you're missing it because the new one, well, the new one is more like XCOM than anything. But the one that was in the middle, which they were like, well, people didn't really like it because it was a literal translation of the tabletop rules. So the people that liked the tabletop was just like, yeah, man, that's it. That's what we wanted for a bazillion years, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't really translate into a computer game really well because
Right.
it's pretty unfair. You know, it's like no matter what you do, it's a lot of random. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, so I kill this guy if I roll a six or better, or you know, or if I every time I roll a six, I kill the guy, or if I have like the cool gun, a five or a six will do it. But if I roll doubles, my gun jams. Right? So you could like shoot the guy and miss. Oh shit, my gun jammed, and then he just rolls over you because you get in close combat. And the Gene Stealers, they have no range, right? So it's like every time he takes a step, you get a shot. So the Gene Stealer player has to do ambushes where he doesn't just charge across a big open space and give you plenty of time to shoot him. He tries to catch you in a bottleneck or something, right?
Right.
Basically, the Gene Stealer player is just waiting for an opportunity, like your gun jammed, and then you know the freaking hallways just explode with aliens, you know, because it's like you can't do anything about it. Here we come. So it's a strategy like that, but it's a very simple game because it's like, okay, this game or this dice will kill him. You know, it's a storm boulder. You roll two dice. If either dice is a six, that guy dies. That's it. That's the rules, until you get to the expansion stuff, and it's like this guy has like five movement points, so you can move five squares. Changing facing by 90 degrees costs a point, right? So you can move three forward, turn, and move another forward, and that's your move. And if you have moves left over, you put the guy on Overwatch, and that is where Overwatch from XCOM came from.
Oh.
XCOM borrowed a lot from Gene Stealer, Space Hulk, whatever. Um, which Space Hulk was originally, what the heck was that called? It was I cannot remember the name of it. Somebody knows, but yeah, whatever the heck it was. It was Space Crusade. That's it. And Space Crusade, there was a game of that was out like on the Amiga, like back in the day, and
Right.
I think it actually came out like on whatever that computer was, the ZX Spectrum or whatever
Yeah,
that they had.
yeah,
Right, it was originally a Spectrum game, and so the guy that did XCOM had originally made this game called Laser Squad, and then Laser Squad got kind of turned into this Space Crusade game, right? And what's his name? Julian Gallup, right? The guy that's
yeah.
making Chaos Reborn. Yeah, so he's the great grandfather of this shit, and so he made Laser Squad, and then that kind of got taken by the Games Workshop people and turned into a Space Marine game, and then he turned it back into XCOM, and then XCOM, it kind of continues to evolve, right? But it's like that whole original thing, I think, was his brainchild back then, the base mechanic of it. So pretty cool. But it's a very simple game. Uh, I'm trying to think of other stuff that's really simple like that. Like when you said, "Hey, let's talk about just pick it up, play it 5 minutes, put it down" kind of games. The very first one that came to mind was Weird Worlds, because that is the definition of
Agreed.
very short time span game, because it puts a limit on you. Like you're only going to play this game for 20 minutes, and then it ends, whether you whether you want it to or not, right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
that
And
looks like that game you're playing right there.
that's exactly what
Weird.
I'm playing. Actually,
How
this
weird.
how weird is that? Now, this is the first game people like thought of when I mentioned this. This is the first game people thought of, and I think this is kind of for me. This is the first one that comes to mind as well. Is because it's basically Starflight in 10 minutes or 20 minutes,
and
and
it's nice like that, and it controls well,
yeah,
and
very
yeah,
easy to deal with.
but it's a lot of random, right?
A lot of
So,
random.
but that's okay, because it's like you're fighting the dice, right? And it's roguelike in that way, because it's. I wonder if anybody has ever made like a quick roguelike. Like this is a roguelike and you only get X turns and it's done. So figure out. But roguelikes are kind of spread out, right? Because like you have to do all that exploring and whatever. And here it's just like choose what planet you go to, and that's one move. So yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
it's a lot
know.
different.
Yeah, but it's pretty damn cool, because it's like, well, you get to the planet and they're either gonna fight you or like you, and if they like you, they'll trade with you, and you never know what they're gonna have, but you might have something from some other planet that they want, and then it's decisions like, do I give this thing up? I can trade this to them, or whatever. The other game that I find is a lot like this is that
What's that?
Curious Expedition.
Oh, that's fun stuff.
Yeah, but think Curious Expedition in space. Oh, that would be this. Except
Similar,
not as
yeah.
much trading with the natives and stuff, and you don't
Curious
get.
Expedition is a great game, by the way, people.
I got mauled by a fucking gorilla the other night, and
I believe it.
yeah,
I believe
it's
it.
not good. The combat system in that is brutal. It's just like, wow, I've got a shotgun, okay, and you roll a couple of dice, and then like you get a tiger on you, and you lose half the party because the tiger's running around just eating everybody. But it's cool for the scale that it's at, because that's very beer and pretzels too, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just like, oh, here's this thing on the map, and I want to go there, and there's X amount of jungle between me and it, and it costs 1 point of machete every time, or whatever, and going down a cliff costs rope, and so you're kind of resource limited. But if you traded well with the villagers, you've got some rope, or maybe you traded the rope to them to get some magic beans, or whatever. But yeah, that game is hella cool. It's brutal,
Yeah,
and
very
so's
brutal.
this, right?
Yeah.
Because yeah,
That's the thing about like we're going to talk about a good deal of roguelikes tonight, and that's kind of the definition of the short, quick to play. I mean, you can play one roguelike over several sessions if you want, but you can still like have one session that lasts 3 minutes, you know.
as I often do.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
So
love roguelikes, you know.
yeah, so I wanted to almost throw Zotrix in here, but then I played the new build of Zotrix since they released it,
Uh-huh.
and it's just like, oh wow, that's not casual anymore.
Oh,
That shit
really?
got hardcore. Yeah, well, I mean, because to get upgrades for your ship, you have to collect elements, and you can't always find all the elements from killing stuff, so you have to trade. So you go to a trade station, and it's like, hey, it's like playing Settlers then, or what the hell is it? Catan, right? Settlers of Catan, and it's like, hey, I'll trade you some wool for this wood, or whatever. And it's like, okay, now I got enough to buy the gun because it's not just money. It's you have to have X amount of each element to afford it. So that forces a trade mechanic. It's pretty elegant actually how they did it. Um, but yeah, you'll get your ass beat if you don't do that because you got to upgrade the ship. And
Yeah,
I
I'm
did.
about to get my ass beat.
Yeah, man, you got Klingons off the starboard bow there, bro. You should run. What is
Yeah.
flying at you? Is that missiles? Are you trying to shoot them? What's happening?
Uh, it's not going well.
No.
I'm about to blow up, I think. Again. Yeah.
You know,
There we
you know what
go.
else? What else I would take as a beer and pretzels game? I don't think it's on the thing. Star Control.
The first one?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah,
Oh
the
God, not
first
the second
one.
one.
No, no, the second one's a completely different beast. But yeah, the first one, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because it was quick, man. It was just like, fight. Was there even if there was a map, right, in the first one, but it was really simple.
It was really simple. You know what that reminds me of? Another game that's kind of beer and pretzel but adds a little more. That's Wing Commander Armada. Remember that one? It was a very simple strategy map. You just move your fleets around every now and again.
No, I keep getting it confused with Academy, and Academy was so tragic.
Academy was just the sim. Academy was
Right,
like they want another Wing Commander game, but Wing Commander 3 isn't ready yet. Throw him something. Uh,
right, and it was just like
throw him the
it was
simulator from the Tiger's Claw. Throw him that. Yeah,
exactly that.
yeah.
Yeah, but it had multiplayer, right? That was like the
That was the
attraction.
big thing. That was the thing. It had multiplayer.
You
It
could get
was
on Dwango and on your 33.6
Kale.
modem.
You can get on Cali and
Cali, yeah.
or
Well,
whatever.
God, what was there? There was 10 Total Entertainment
There's
Network.
10, and then there was the Prodigy had something, and what was it? What was the other one? It was like Gemini something or
Yeah, and then there was something Storm,
oh
which was actually like Kesmai that broke out from AOL. Like it was AOL Games, and then it became its own external thing. And what was noteworthy about that is they had multiplayer BattleTech, and they had Legends of Kesmai. It was Game Storm. That was the name of it, I think.
oh I remember
Yeah.
Game Storm. Air Warrior was on that,
Yes,
wasn't it?
sir. Yep. And
Yes.
God, I did love me some Air Warrior.
Oh God, I
Um,
did too.
and
God damn
what the heck else did they have? Oh, they had the Aliens game.
it.
Like
Didn't they have
Aliens versus
Didn't that have the very
Marines.
basic Wing Commander game? Not Wing Commander, Mech Warrior game.
Yeah, yeah. It was multiplayer BattleTech, Solaris.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
which I really like. Do you remember BattleTech 3025? It came out in like a beta for a couple months, and then Activision crapped on it, or EA, or
Vague,
whoever had it.
vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, I've gone and looked at videos, and my God, that game was ahead of its time. It was like MechWarrior 2 Mercenaries online.
Really?
And yeah, it's like wow, for the day, it was a hell of a thing, and I weep that it never made it out.
Uh,
But anyway, yeah, lots and lots of fond memories of playing multiplayer BattleTech. But they also had Island of Kesmai on there, which was my first MMO, if you could call it that. And they had Neverwinter Nights, which was
really?
D MMO. Yeah.
No, really?
Yep.
What?
Yeah, it was a turn-based D&D. Remember Gold Box Dungeons and Dragons like on the Commodore?
Oh, sure, of
Yeah,
course.
Temple of Pool of Radiance and Rage Against the Machine, and no, that was a band. Yeah, Pool of Radiance and such, right? I Curse of the Azure Bonds. I can't remember all of them, but anyway, it was that
Right,
multiplayer. So that
right.
was very cool back in the day. So, and then Atari, Cryptic Atari, whoever, they have the Neverwinter nice license now, and that's why you have Neverwinter whatever that's online, which is kind of neat because it's a free to play D&D game, but it's not like a pay to win. The grind is not so bad, and it's fun. Hint, hint. We should play it. But they they you actually the users And this is my suggestion, and here's where it comes back to space. It's coming
Oh,
back.
okay, go ahead.
So for Elite, right? The
Yeah.
way that they could get missions in Elite is what they do in Neverwinter. So players can create quests in Neverwinter. They get like an editor and they make a frickin' quest in a map. And it's like, I want to do this quest and I'm going to take my 3 friends and we're going to do this guy's quest that this guy cooked up, and there's a rating system, and the quests get voted up if people, it's like thumbs up, thumbs down, was it fun, and the higher rating ones like bubble to the top, and it's content, and the developers of the game, they basically gave the content development toolkit, they just expose it in the game and made it streamlined, so you can just stick content in that bad boy. It would just be like stick a quest in Baldur's Gate 2. Okay, except it's a 3D game. But it's like that. So why not in Elite allow players to actually create missions and stick them in the mission list? Put a freaking bounty on them. Like, yeah, whoever does this, right? Like, pay them whatever. But you're actually like paying money out of that character's pocket or something. I don't know. Or just let them just make the damn mission and have it in there, and then like the 20 best voted missions that are under a month old would stay there, but then they'd time out or something.
Oh.
There's a multitude of ways that they could do that, and that way players would get a sense of ownership in a system, right? Because it's like, hey, this is my home system, and I'm making missions for BD 3024, right? So when you come to BD 3024, my missions are in that list.
Right.
Deal.
That sounds
And
like
the
a good
missions
idea.
and the missions that I make are ones that actually like pump the faction of the people that I want to control my system or whatever. So it would tie like really well into power play, and it would give people something to do other than, oh, I'm gonna haul pamphlets 10 at a time all day long.
God, I know.
Oh god, it's terrible. And yeah. So that's why power is like Alicia Winters or Felicia Winters or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
That I don't understand how anybody can stand it, because it's just like, I'm gonna haul pamphlets. Oh, I'm gonna undermine. Oh, I'm gonna haul different colored pamphlets to
Yeah.
different places, and it's just like, this is so freaking tedious. Oh, I have a giant Type 9. I can haul 10 pamphlets. Okay.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So
I
yeah,
really don't get it.
I find nothing cool happening about that. Hey man, you got friends now. There's 3 of you.
I know.
A little party.
I've got guys.
You're doing better than I've ever done in that game. So
Because I found help.
Yeah, well, this is the new. This is the old one, right?
This is the new one. This is the new
this
one.
is the new one. Oh, well, it's
Yeah.
much more done than I remembered. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot more done. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot more
Very
done.
nice. So what's weird about it is it has mixed reviews on
What?
on Steam. Yeah, it's in the mixed.
People
I
are
do not
crazy.
understand why. I can't freaking understand why.
I don't
It's like,
understand that either. That doesn't make
it's like,
any
this
sense.
isn't Master of Orion. Fuck
Like,
this game.
well, that's not supposed to be Master of Orion. Guys,
I know,
this game is great.
But the first one has excellent reviews, and this is like more of the same, and we hate it. I don't get it. It's we'll have to ask him. Is he coming in here? Is
Oh,
he around?
well, I don't have his Skype info. Remember?
Oh, son of a gun.
Remember?
Well, that sucks. What's his? You know what? Ping me his name in Steam chat.
I
or
don't
something.
remember. Oh, hang on. His name is. Oh, hang on. Let
His
me
name
look it up.
is Billy
What?
Joe
His name
Tommy
is-
Tuck Ray.
His name is what? His name is what? Slim Shady. Yeah, I did. I did that. I did that.
I know. I'm letting it fade.
Hey, I've got I've got a friend with me now. Very cool.
Oh well, I was gonna say I could search the Skypes and see if I find him.
Yeah. Let me load. Hang on, folks. 1 second. Gotta find him.
I'm all up in the skizite.
Gotta find him. He
You
might
got
al-
an email from him, right? You have to have an email from him somewhere.
somewhere, yeah. But I also have him on Facebook, so hang on.
Yeah.
So I could tell him
Yeah.
to friend you.
Yeah, so we need to get him in here so he can atone for his mixed reviews.
All right, so
Whatever.
I gave him your Skype name.
Yeah, this is Digital Eel, right? This is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
guys.
same people. We've had them on the show before.
Oh, I remember. I'm
Yeah,
shocked that I actually remember the company name because I'm so good with names.
yeah. It's
Steve.
this is so great, Steve.
Oh wait, no, you're Brian. See?
There's a thing on Parks and Rec where Ron Swanson, to show his disdain for you, he'll purposely forget your name.
Nice.
He will talk. I'll say it right in front of you. Even, oh no! I think I hit a supernova or something without even knowing it. Oh, you bastard! That was fun. This game has gotten a lot better.
You just ran into it and died.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Maybe that was the Great Barrier, and God took your fucking starships.
That's fucking weird. That's fucking weird. Well, let's stick. Let's stick.
Starships.
Oh god, I don't know why I thought of that.
You know
today.
about Starship, right? They built that city.
Yeah. So we're gonna go with another roguelike, real quick. This one's also excellent. I just wish more people could play it, because it's on Shrapnel Games and people aren't as ready to. People aren't as ready to buy stuff on Shrapnel as they are on Steam.
You know,
which is just
until you said that, I forgot that Shrapnel actually existed.
I know.
Why don't they put their damn products on Steam?
Well, look how long it took Matrix.
I know, right?
Whoa, what's that?
That's Skype deciding it's going to play an ad. Thanks, Skype.
Oh, jeez.
Frickin'.
So yeah, this game was kickstarted, Approaching Infinity. It's a great fucking game.
I like that.
It's a great fucking game. And
how come I don't have that? You're holding out on me.
No, I never got a press copy. This is my own copy from the Kickstarter. I never got a press
copy. Did they early access it yet, or that's what it is?
No, this is what it is.
I mean, so I can't go on Steam and just early access it.
It's not Steam at all. It's Shrapnel Games.
Oh, that's right. We just covered that.
Yeah. I know.
So irritating.
I know.
So irritating. No one will ever play this game, except for you, and maybe that one guy that's in the chat.
And there are a few people. Okay. There are a few people.
But this looks kind of cool, man. It's
very cool.
That looks kind of neat.
Yeah, it's very streamlined, and you have both planetary and space stuff. And so, it's pretty much the same interface.
Are you shooting space cows? What is that?
No, I was mining asteroids.
Oh, that's asteroids. Gotcha.
And to mine them, you just fly over them.
Oh, that's cool. How come there are walls in space?
Is
this subspace?
This is a tutorial.
Oh.
So because I haven't played this in a while, but now I've landed on a planet, and now I'm killing things and taking gems. But the planet stuff is kind of like, remember Starflight, where you had your little terrain rover and you had a limited amount of oxygen? It's like that. You have a limited amount of oxygen.
So that game Into the Stars that's coming out, right?
Uh-huh.
I was actually shocked whenever I got to a planet and it did not let me drop a rover down and run around, because I was expecting it to go full Starflight like that, because it's 90% there. And then it didn't.
It kind of is, isn't it?
It is. It's so much Starflight, and yet even the guy making it doesn't realize that it's that much Starflight. It's like, dude, that's a Starflight sequel. What's Starflight? Let me tell you. So because it's like, if you're gonna make that kind of game, that's just what's going to emerge, and it's just like, dude, go for it, man. Like. But the especially because it's mini games, right? So you got like that drill that you fly down through the thing. That's cool, right?
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. I want to get the rover down there, and I want to like shoot six-legged space lions and take them back to my ship for study, or whatever. So, yeah, that game was awesome. I also miss God, I miss mail order monsters.
What's Mail
Such a
Order
great game.
Monsters?
It was a EA game from, or maybe it was Epix that made it. It was like uh, design your own genetically engineered frickin' monster from a
Oh,
catalog, and then it shows up in the mail.
huh.
It's like, oh, I ordered a frickin' hippogriff from Amazon. It'll be here 2 days because it was on Prime. And then I fight it against the neighbors. Yeah, it was a cool game. Do you remember Archon? The chess game where the monsters
Yeah.
fought?
Oh,
Okay,
sure.
so think
Absolutely.
that, but you get to custom design your own monsters, and it levels up
Oh.
shit. Yeah, I really don't understand why nobody has made a sequel to that. So cool. But then again, Crush, Crumble, and Chomp. My God, how long did it take before we got a successor to that? Right.
Well, I mean,
So
look at the Chaos Reborn. I
yeah,
mean,
well,
that came
it
out
took
when?
it took the same guy. That's what it took. God, I don't even remember the first one at all.
Oh, I never played it.
Yeah, but
I never
I mean, it
played it.
looks solid. There was something that was
Oh, it's
on.
great. The new one? It's
Oh yeah,
great.
but there was something that was on the Genesis that was kind of like that. It was a hex-based monsters on a map and wizards. Like wizard would summon monsters and then control the map with it. Um, Kind of interesting. It wasn't an arena game though, because Chaos Reborn is basically an arena fight.
Well,
But this thing
it is, but it's also an arena fight across multiple procedurally generated, little terrains and stuff. It's really great.
mm,
Yeah, I've been playing. They finally has single player, so I've been playing some of that,
oh cool.
and it's pretty fucking
We
great.
we should play together, like against each other, because I'm not
Oh,
terrible
you
with
have it? Yeah, we should
people. Oh,
totally.
I do totally have it. Yeah,
Oh, we should totally play it then.
Thursday night. Well, oh, maybe. I don't know. We're
Uh,
100 free this week. He
yeah, we
doesn't have his
are.
computer set up. He is here in
I,
North
I, I was
Carolina.
about to say, I heard he made it to the great Northern Carolina territory.
Yes, yes, he did. I don't think that they have requested that he pay taxes yet, but it's coming because North Carolina believes in taxation. Oh my God, dude! In California, do they tax you property tax on your vehicle every year?
Um,
Do you
property
get a
tax on
thing?
your vehicle?
Yeah, like I have to pay license plates, and then I have to pay 1% of the blue book value of the car every frickin' year.
Not that I'm aware
It's
of.
it's
I
like
just pay a
it's like sale.
registration.
Yeah, it's like sales tax over and over and over
Really?
again. Yeah, and I can't get my plates if I haven't paid the sales tax thing or property tax, whatever you call it.
Oh,
But it's
jeez.
just like, hey, you have this car, you owe us every year for
Oh my
road
gosh.
use and and whatever. And even the town can get me for it, and that's why I live in the county. That and my chickens and stuff because I wouldn't be able to have that in town. But yeah, I was just like, I will not live in a subdivision that has a homeowners association because they bleed money out of you for nothing. I mean, okay, they give you some assurance that your neighbor isn't going to have a car up on blocks and grass so tall you can't see the car. That's true, but if you pick the right neighborhood, you're okay, right? But I don't want somebody telling me like you can't cut down that tree, right? Without people for a mile around, everybody has to unanimously agree it's okay for me to cut down my tree. No, I own the house. You don't understand, you know. So,
Right.
um, so it's like that. I like my liberty. I don't own any guns, but I do believe in liberty, and that's
That's
okay.
annoying.
Um, but yeah. Oh, hey, this is kind of cool, man. You're wandering around on the planet,
Yeah.
stuff.
No,
That
it's very cool.
that's like it's like if it was more hellish, I would say that it was like a roguelike version of Nuclear Dawn. If everything was shooting at you. But that's kind of cool looking.
Yeah, no, it's great, and you can play a game within just a few minutes. Oh, the entire away team was killed. But this is a very easy game to get into. It's a game you can play for maybe 10 minutes, you know, and feel like you've accomplished something. That's another thing about these games I wanted to cover is it's not a game. It doesn't even always have to be a game you have to finish in a coffee break. It's just you feel like you accomplished something even in a coffee break, and this game moves pretty fast. It's a shame that it's $40 on.
What?
Yeah,
God
I
damn.
think so.
That's the problem. That's shrapnel slash
Yeah, it's
Matrix
yeah,
slash
it's
Slytherin slash all those guys, man. They way price themselves out of the market that they're trying to be in.
it's
Right?
$39.95. It has gone on sale once or twice for like
But
$35.95.
nobody noticed because it's hidden and
Because
it's some
yeah, that's
closet
what that's
on the
what
internet.
kills me. I mean, I've got nothing against Shrapnel. They've put out good stuff, but I mean, no one is gonna play this because one, I mean, there is a demo. That's great, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's great. But I mean, when you can buy a roguelike, like the next one I'm gonna play. Let me just load that up. When you can
Do you
buy that for like 10
wait?
bucks.
I have to demand a particular roguelike from you.
Okie doke.
Cogmind, because we're talking about expensive roguelikes, right? And it's like, is it worth the money? Is it what? Cogmind's what, 25 bucks?
It's
30
30.
bucks?
30.
30
Yeah.
bucks?
Yeah.
So freaking worth it.
Oh my
my
God.
God.
It is. Guys,
Yeah.
Cogmind, seriously, amazing. I almost got burnt out on it, so I had to stop playing it. Because I'm like, I don't want to burn out on this.
let's explain the concept. You start out as a robot torso.
Yeah,
and-
just a torso. You're like your power system is totally uncovered.
Yeah, you're
Like
like
your
a
heart,
well,
your
you're
guts.
basically laying in a junk pile in the basement.
Yes, that's
Right?
exactly right.
And you reassemble yourself from junk parts and then stumble back into what are you in?
Yes.
It's like some kind of complex or
Yeah, you're in a
something, right?
complex and you're supposed to escape, but you really don't know why.
Yeah,
You know,
but the guard robots when they see you like start shooting.
shoot.
And
Yeah, they
and
shoot
you've
the fuck
probably-
out of you.
Yeah, you've picked up maybe like a pea shooter down in the basement.
Yeah.
So you kill the first guard and he explodes into parts, and then you go over there and it's like, oh, he dropped a gun. Bolt that on. They knocked off my leg. All right, I'll put a wheel on there, and so you're like a rolling trash heap that's on the verge of collapse at all times. And
Yep.
like every time you get in a fight, but then you find some good loot, and then you become like a freaking juggernaut.
Yeah,
And
because when you destroy the robots, they leave behind their parts, and you use those parts to augment yourself.
yeah, and sometimes you have to be a vampire and kill the friendly little robots that mean you no harm
Yeah.
to steal their parts. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, my batteries are running down. Oh, sorry about this little guy.
Sorry about that, fella. I need your reactor. Just give me your reactor. God damn it. Just give me your fucking reactor. Let's play a little of it.
So what do? You got to kill them like silently, right? Because if you like haul off with your bazooka and flatten one, well, not only that, you're going to tear their parts up, and that's what you're killing them for. But what do you do? Like run up and tase them, and just knock them out, and then cannibalize them? Or
That's pretty much the case. Yeah,
yeah,
that is.
because it's
that is-
quiet. It's like the stealth takedown. It's the Splinter Cell. Of,
Yeah, it's
like
pretty.
I have a certain set of robot skills. I will find you, and I will take your parts.
Right, and so I just acquired. Let's see, I just acquired an engine.
Oh yeah, other thing. While we're doing this, move the chat window there because it's blocking the UI. Right. The UI in this game is the best part of this game to me because it looks like a simple ASCII UI over there, but it's very interactive. Like it's clickable and
Yeah.
and
Oh, totally,
it's great.
totally. Like,
Wow,
Like,
just
I-
close that freaking chat, man. That's it's blocking the whole game. But anyway, like yeah, if you click on stuff, like there's a part, right? And if you right click on it, it'll pop up a description of the part
yep.
and
Like
and
that.
everything. And it's yeah, it's
And
It's
it's just
awesome.
it's totally ASCII graphics. Like,
but
and
he didn't do it like lazy, right? It's not like
No.
oh, this is just stagnant ASCII stuff. Like the way look at that. That's beautiful.
isn't that beautiful?
And the way that it draws like help text and balloons that pop up and everything, this is like the best frickin' ASCII UI because it's not really, it's graphics, but he made it look ASCII to be, it's like I just dig it. It's freaking great. Like just the way the text changes on the screen when you flip screens, you know, how it all like goes digital, you know, pixely, whatever, it blurs. But yeah,
All right, how do I activate my weapons?
you have them turned on, right?
There we go. Now I have to turn. I have to turn them on.
Okay. Because the stream's a little bit behind, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, that's so embarrassing whenever you get charged by some guard robots and you've forgotten to switch your guns on.
You're like, whoops.
Yeah. Although I do kind of wish in this though, because combat resolves like instantly, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard sometimes to tell what just went on because I don't know. I need like a more scrolling display of events or something because it's got it up in the upper left, but
But it goes by so fucking fast.
well, oh my god, yeah. It's like, oh, I got 10 guys shooting at me, and there's only like 10 lines of info there, and every attack generates about 5 lines. So, yeah,
Yeah,
scroll
exactly.
back.
Exactly. And I love how just simple it is. Like, I can see one of my lasers has been damaged. So I'm just going to get rid of it and attach this assault rifle and turn that on.
It's
Yeah,
turning me on. That's what it's doing.
Oh god, guys, this game right here is just really fantastic. This is just
Yeah, I could just, if this had, you know, it reminds me of Paradroid. That's I think what I like so much about it, right?
really.
Is yeah, and this could actually take place in a spaceship for all, you know, it doesn't matter the setting or whatever.
Yeah,
But
it doesn't.
you're in some kind of like high tech compound with a lot of computers and stuff to hack, and you know, because there's a hell of a lot of hacking in this game too,
There is a
right?
lot of
So
hacking in this game. Yes.
but that's the way Paradroid worked was you would have another robot, but you wouldn't take pieces. You would just steal the whole robot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that reminds me of well, okay, so Puppy Games made that what the heck is that called? They have like 4 games, right? I can't remember that. So there's Attack of the Titans, Revenge of the Titans, Revenge of the Titans, Spectacular, and but there's one. It's one of the robot games is a Robotron clone.
Oh, Is it Attack of the Titans? No, no, I
No,
don't.
that Attack of the Titans is Space Invaders.
Right.
And then there's Robot something. I gotta look it up now.
Right. I don't remember either.
So, okay, here we go. Ultratron is
Oh,
the,
yeah,
is
yeah,
the
yeah.
Robotron clone, right? More than worth it. Like seriously, go to Steam, find everything by Puppy Games, put it on your wish list, and when the next Steam sale comes around and they drop down to $1, just buy it all. Right? It's like if this
Right.
guy made a game a week, I would buy it at $9. Right? So he's working on some kind of like a survival Resident Evil looking thing now. That's pretty crazy. But anyway, so Droid Assault is the name of it.
Oh, that's a good game.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so you've played it. So you know what goes down in Paradroid then, because Droid Assault is basically the modern Paradroid. But Paradroid was like Commodore VIC 20, right? Like way back, loaded on a cassette tape kind of. But you're trying to get through this spaceship and you run into tougher guard robots, and there's some robots that just don't give a shit. They're running around doing their job. But there's some robots that'll see you and be like, hey, he's weird, shoot him. And so you run up to the guard robots and you hack them, and then it'll be like a little mini game, which is a lot like the mini games that were like in Mass Effect, or what was that spy game that you were playing the heck out of?
Oh, Alpha Protocol.
Yeah, Alpha Protocol. You know how the mini games were in there, like I'm unlocking a door, right? And then you
Yeah,
have to, like,
yeah.
match things. Yeah, it's like that. But the timer was faster depending on how low level your robot was compared to the one that you were hacking. So it would be more complex circuits and less time to do it. So you'd have to like get your level up in robots, and then try to make it out of the ship, like all the way to the top or whatever. I never got more than halfway because that game was balls hard. But anyway, so this game is very much like that. So Cogmind reminds me of these games because here you're actually able to select pieces of the other robot and build yourself, which I think is just fabulous. But
Right,
there's like a
exactly.
hacking game. There's all kind of, disable the security and it's great. So
It really
yes,
is great.
and then the game that saved Kerberos.
Yeah, exactly. It really is.
Can you believe one guy did this? Like
I have
while
a
he was making another game.
yeah.
That's it's
This
like this
guys,
was
this
his
is
this was
sorry.
his like bullshit side project, and it's like wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, this is Sword of the Stars, the pit, and it's really fantastic. It's very difficult, but this is a game you could play, relatively quickly in like 5 or 10 minutes and really get something accomplished. We're playing a lot of roguelikes, which it makes
If
sense.
if you live more than 10 minutes, you've done something. That's an accomplishment.
Oh, with this game especially. Oh my God, this game
It's
is
a bit
hard.
brutal,
Yeah, it is
but
very.
I bet it's one of those games like once you get going, you're okay, right? But the beginning is just ridiculous. There's so many games that are like that too, right? Like the barrier to entry, like to get equipped, you'll die and die and die, right? It's like whenever I play DayZ, you start out you're freaking naked and you have nothing, right? So you run around, oh, there's a farmhouse. You go in, oh, zombie dead, right? I never found even a butter knife. I'm dead. And but if you get lucky and you find a gun and some bullets,
Right.
then maybe you can do something, right? And
Like
then
yeah.
but until you find that first thing that gets you over the noob hump, you're just like paper. And this game's a lot like that.
It really is. It's such a good game though. I
Have,
mean,
have you played the Necro expansion?
this is the gold edition, so it's got everything as far as I know.
Um, I don't know. I mean, maybe. 'Cause I thought the Necro expansion came out after the gold.
I'm not
So
sure.
yeah,
Hang on, I could look.
yeah. But
I could
basically,
look on
yes,
Steam.
you get to play a freaking space necromancer.
Yeah, I got it.
How bad is that?
It's pretty
So
great. This is a very imaginative game, and it's a game where you could play. If you survive a coffee break, like Jim said, you've really accomplished something. If you survived a coffee break with this game, because god damn this game, it does not mess
but games
around.
like this, I like that because
Oh yeah,
I can pick it up and play it and die, but I don't feel bad that I died.
no,
Not like,
not at
oh, this
all.
freaking game, it robbed me.
No,
It's more like you're trying to push a boulder uphill. Like, oh, I made it a little further than I did the last time. I'm doing
right.
good. It's not like a game where you get like hours into it and then find out that you're boned, right?
Exactly,
It's
and
permadeath, and then
that
you
can
just
happen with some of these though. that
oh,
can.
it could happen with this if you can get over the beginning part, right, and get a few levels under you where you're not like a freaking piece of china. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
but yeah, so it looks like you got a lot of hit points, man. I got 160 hit points. Yeah, well, you find out, 4 hits and your enemies do a lot of hit points of damage too. Um, it's not quite JRPG, right, where you hit somebody for 10,000 damage. I have never understood why those games do that. It's like why do you have like a million hit points and then you hit me for 100,000 damage and it's just like give me like 100 hit points and you hit me for 10. It's the same thing, right? Like just take some zeros off of there.
Right,
I don't know,
exactly.
but
But yeah, folks, this is a great game to play over a lunch break because, like a lot of roguelikes, it's very difficult, it's very challenging. But the thing about this game is the level design is always fun, you know, and the enemies, like, you're always running out of something. It's a very tense. And since this is the same universe as the Sword of the Stars games, it really like adds flavor to that whole universe, which already has a lot of flavor already. I mean, the Sword of the Stars. You say what you want about Sword of the Stars 2. Sword of the Stars 1 had a lot of flavor to it. You know, and so it's nice. Have you played Ground Pounders at all?
I have tried. It is a bit unstable on my machine.
Oh,
It likes to crash in a couple of turns, kind of deal.
oh
I
no.
don't know what that's about. Yeah, it must be me, right? Because it's like you know,
So
I don't see them leaving it in that state if it was a common problem. So it's got to be something that's up with me. But yeah, it looks cool. It's very complicated card game
very complicated.
because it's like you have to deal with. Well, it's a war game, but it also has a little bit of Magic the Gathering card battle going on too. So, hey, and speaking of roguelikes and card games, what the hell? Card Hunter came out on Steam.
I saw
Like,
that.
I don't know why it needed to because
It didn't need
it's a
to.
website, right? But it you know it's exposure, right? Because nobody knows cardhunter.com is there. Well, all of you do now. But yeah, it was just I don't know. I saw that game like oh god a year before it came out, and it's that motif of paper cutout D&D stuff, right? Little plastic thing with a cardboard, flat barbarian in the thing, and that just nostalgically takes me back to the 70s when, by God, that's what we had and we liked it. Uphill in the snow both ways. In fact, my first BattleTech game was City Tech, actually, but it was little cardboard mechs. Then you had standees to put them in, or whatever the fuck those were, little plastic feet that you put on them. And then they came out with miniatures, but there was no damn miniatures at the beginning. Like, well, there was old battle droids, and I think people converted stuff over from that. But it was just like, yeah, you get the basic set, man. It's a bunch of cardboard stuff. Okay, so good times.
Good times.
But yeah, I saw that game and I was just like, damn, it's a roguelike, but your equipment puts cards in your hand. It's like, have you ever played it, Card Hunter?
I played it a while ago. Yeah, I did enjoy it, but I got distracted by new.
Oh, they put co-op in it now. I don't know what that means, but there's co-op in it. I don't know how it would work. Like, do they have like two parties that work together to clear a map? Maybe we'll have to check that out. But the other thing about it too was like, okay, they need to make money, right? So they have a way
Sure.
that you can buy. It's pizza slices. I love that. But you buy that stuff, and the lore is basically like you're bribing the DM to give you better loot. It's awesome.
That's actually pretty great.
Yeah. So it's the deal of like, okay, they can make some money like that, but it's not a pay to win game by any stretch, because it's balanced to be hard at, without having to grind stuff endlessly or whatever. It's kind of like just right. But if you run into something where you want to advance your progress faster or, or whatever, you can toss them a couple bucks, right? But it's not, you don't feel like it's a mandatory whatever. And for me, that's the sweet spot. That's like when a pay to play game has been done correctly. That's what it is. It's not like, oh, I hit some kind of wall and I can never progress unless, swipe your credit card to continue. So, but the thing too is like the current game players, because arcades aren't a thing anymore.
Right.
Blue Wizard shot the food.
Oh,
Insert
God,
point.
I know,
9,
right?
8, 7. Right? Like the old days, dude. Those games ate money.
Yeah, they did.
God, they did. It was
We should talk about games. But maybe that'd be another topic. Is good couch co-op games, because they just talked about that on Gamers with Jobs. But that's probably something we could talk about too in terms of space
I
games.
have played no couch co-op though. I mean, there is a resurgence I've noticed on Steam,
which
that
is great.
people are making couch co-op games again,
which is good. I have
except for split screen. I hate split screen stuff.
Oh, really?
Because it's like, it's like I sit far enough away from the TV with a console that I can see it, but if you cut my view in half, it makes me crazy. But then again, I'm not one of those kids that grew up playing GoldenEye four-way split screen on a 14-inch TV. I'm sure they have a tolerance for that. But N64, baby. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just not my thing. But if you're gonna have couch co-op, let it be internet couch co-op as well, and that's fine. right? Because I know why a lot of these guys do that. It's just because they don't want to bother with netcode, right? It's like I can make a 2-player game, and it's just like, okay, both of you get real close to the keyboard. We split the keyboard in half, left and right, or 2 game pads or whatever, right? But I don't know, but it's cool. Like it's getting to the point now where PC gamers are having a PC in the living room already. Like,
Yeah,
so it's like if I
I
have a
know.
PC in the living room that is going to be, like my media home theater PC and whatever already, and it's got a nice video card in it, well, I'm going to stick Steam on that bad boy. And then, that's, of course, the whole impetus behind Big Picture, right?
Yeah,
Is for people to
exactly.
do that. And I think more and more and more people are doing that.
Which is great. Which is
Yeah.
great. Like one of the reasons I got a PS2 is because I wanted to do more couch co-op, and that system has a lot of great games for it. Now wait, someone AC Wrath in the chat. Have you played? Asked about Warframe. Have you ever played Warframe?
Yeah. Yeah. I've played it. In fact, if that's Dan, who I think it is, I would say that I've played Warframe exclusively with Dan because I've only played it with Dan. But yeah, it's a cool ass game though. Have you ever played it? Have you
I have
installed it?
never played it. I have never
Oh
played
my
it.
God. Okay, so there was a game called Dark Sector, and it's up on Steam right now. It's like $9, but it drops down to like 50 cents when it goes on sale. And I would say
Dark Sector?
yes. So Dark Sector is like you get infected with some kind of nanovirus thing in the game, and you begin to slowly transform into a Japanese cyborg ninja, right?
Huh.
Have you ever seen the anime The Guyver?
Yes.
Okay, you are turning into the Guyver,
Oh my gosh.
right? And not all at once, so it kind of progresses as the game goes. But and he gets this really cool weapon that I don't think is actually in the Warframe game. But his name is something Tenno, right? And
Right.
in Warframe, you play. I don't know what the time frame is, but it's basically like there is an army of these robot cyborg ninja anime guys, right?
Yeah.
And you were like one, it's like you get woken up or freed from stasis or some bullshit, right? And that's like the tutorial thing is that. And then there's like some aliens that have basically taken over the solar system and you're fighting them, and it starts with like Mercury, right? And you'll do missions on Mercury and then level up to the point where you can go to another planet or whatever. And there's like multiple enemies and stuff. It's a free to play. So
Oh,
there's like,
Warframe is?
oh, cool. Yeah, Dan said they did add the glaive, right? So the weapon that the guy gets in the first game is the glaive, like straight up from that movie in the 80s, the
Krull.
from Krull. It is the fucking glaive from Krull. and
No.
and yes, and that is, I mean, he's got like a machine gun in one hand and he throws the freaking glaive, and you can control it psychically with the mouse. Like as long as you keep the button held down, you can fly that fucking thing around and kill a whole room full of
What?
dudes. And yeah, it's great. And so it's awesome that it's back in the game. Like now I got to play Warframe. So, but it's the guys that made that game originally, and they were just like, let's make an online massive multiplayer version of this. And so now it's Space Ninjas, 4-player co-op, and
Huh.
it's all PVE. I'm sure they have PvP in there somewhere, but the base game is all PVE. 4 people get dropped into a base or a spaceship or whatever,
Really?
and it's like retrieve the widget, and you have to like run across the map and fight the boss, take the widget, run back to the extraction point and get out. And
Huh.
then it adds up score, like who did, of the 4 of you, it ranks like who did how much damage, who did whatever. Yeah, it's very cool, and it's not really a competitive thing. But my playtime is very short in it. Like I've gotten past the newbie stuff, and I've done maybe like half the missions on the first planet. But I would not say that I'm like way into it because you see people like Dan that are playing it, and he's in like a clan in there and stuff, or was, and it's like his character is like made out of fucking magic and sunshine, right? And my guy is just like a little ball of dirt. So, you know, um, but yeah, we did. He took me into this one mission. It was like a high level thing,
Right.
and they have it'll be like a mission that you can go into that is it's wave stuff. It's like a King of the Hill survival. Like waves of monsters, horde mode, I guess you'd call it, where just wave after wave of monsters comes toward you, and then the four of you just have to basically defend the center of the map and not get overrun for whatever. And you stay in like every wave is harder than the last. So it's just like, how many waves do you want to do? Do you want to stick around for the next one? And somebody dies, and as long as there's one person alive, they can run over and resuscitate them, and get them back on their feet. But when you're helping somebody, you're not killing monsters, so better be quick. But it's fun, and it's not pay to win, so I like that.
Right.
So it's just the way that they make their money with that game is like, oh, I see Dan, and oh my god, he's got like ninja neon angel wings, and shoots fire out his ass and whatever, and he's just killing monsters by looking at him. Boy, I wish I had that. Ah, that's worth $10. Okay, you know. Oh, he's got, or it's like he's got super fancy swords, and my swords are kind of plain, right? It just
Right.
appeals to that whole like that competitiveness of like, oh, I want to keep up with the Joneses, right? Or I want that cool thing that he's got, and people pull money out for that. So, but the game itself totally playable. It's it's not like you're gonna get frustrated like, oh, I can't play this unless I throw money at it.
Right.
So what is this that you're playing here, sir?
This is called 10-Minute Space Strategy, and it is basically a Master of Orion style game you can play very quickly. It basically is like, oh, let's do all the colonization stuff and everything in just like a few minutes, and and
Well, this is kind of what I said I wanted at the beginning of the show then.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
So it's
much.
just like, here's Master of Orion in 10 minutes. Okay.
Pretty much.
I had no idea this existed. Where do you get this? Please
Uh,
don't say shrapnel. I'll
no,
cry.
no, it's free. It's totally free. Just
Oh,
type it. I can put a thing. Hang on.
well, 10-minute space strategy. I can
Yeah,
Googlify it.
exactly. And they're called the Goblin Lunatics. Don't go to Desura. Just here, I'll just give you this. Where are
Oh,
you?
yeah, I got it. Goblinlunatics.blogspot.
Yeah, and
Blogspot.
and this is basically, you know, this is basically what
This
happens.
is kind of cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
I would say I'm digging it.
Why can't I colonize that
How
planet?
did you discover this thing? Somebody point you at it?
I think so. I don't remember. Yeah, but it's very just straightforward. Very. Wow, I've got a lot of fighters. Okay. I honestly haven't played much of this. Ooh, I reached level 2 because I guess I'm researching stuff. Oh yeah, you can change your research just up there. And there's your empire details.
So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's pretty great. I dig it.
Yeah, I like stuff that's simple like this. It's lightweight, it's pretty, but yet there's probably a lot of game there. Like compared to what it appears like, right? It's more like, oh yeah, there's some replayability and whatnot. So
Right.
I like the combat. That's cool. That's like
Y-
Advanced Wars
Yeah,
in
yeah,
space.
exactly. Oh, speaking of Advance Wars, can I gush about my Nintendo? Can I gush about that for a second?
If you must.
There's so many good games on that thing.
I would have
Oh,
never guessed, given the fact that they outsell every other console
no,
on Earth.
there's a Panzer General clone called Panzer Tactics.
Yep.
That's incredible. Um, there's a couple of space games. That Star Trek game made by
Mm.
the folks who did made by the folks who did Starfleet Command, the first one,
Yeah.
Quicksilver.
So is this the one that's for the old DS?
Yeah.
That one? Okay. I did not so much dig it on the three yeah, on the 3DS,
Oh,
DS,
really?
whatever. Yeah, because I saw the PSP version, and the PSP version was like freaking gorgeous. And then this thing, well, it suffers from the platform, right?
Sure.
Um, but yeah, but I mean, it's okay. It's like little canned missions kind of thing. Um, at least it doesn't burden me with the Dynaverse.
Doesn't burden you
That's
with.
right. Freaking Dynaverse. Um,
I'm so sorry.
yeah, you know it. But anyway, yeah, I mean, this is kind of cool. I just fired it up myself. I can't stand
Yeah.
to play it and me
It
not.
it kind of reminds me in some ways because I tried to get Spaceward home. I really tried to
Mm.
find. I got a Windows copy of it.
Is it out
Abs-
on iOS or something? Like,
it
why is
is.
it not? Okay, I was gonna say, like,
It
the only
is.
way it ever gets off of the abandonware sites is,
Yeah,
like if it
it is.
shows up on some other platform, and then all the abandonware sites yank it. So
Yeah, it is. It is totally on iOS, and
that's the one that was like the cowgirl riding on a rocket, right, or
something like
something.
that.
It was the box art. I remember it from like way back. I never bought it, but I just remember seeing it in the store. You know, when they had stores that had video games
Oh
on the
God,
shelf.
I remember stores. Sure.
Not the online kind. I mean the hey, this is cool. I can play humans.
Yeah.
How rare.
Yeah. Isn't this pretty
Um,
cool?
so
Yeah.
yeah.
So this is a free game. I'm just kind of shocked that it's free.
Oh, dude, you can play frickin' the Smog Monster from Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. It's Hedorah. Oh my god, the tentacle guys. I think they're probably Cthulhu-y, but whatever. The mechanized race. Yeah, I'm going for that. Oh, and you pick what kind of homeworld they're on.
Yeah. Exactly.
Very nice. Dude, this is great because it's like it lets you design your race. I might as well be playing Galciv at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It is. I'm not sure why I can't find a colony, but whatever.
So, speaking of Galciv, and
Yeah.
I mentioned the Sorcerer King and stuff. I want so badly to have Brad Wardell on here, and not specifically to talk about any game in particular, but I
Wow.
want to talk about AI in 4X games. And the other thing that I want to do is the guy that was working on the AI mod for Pandora.
Yeah.
I've chatted with him, but it's like he's in Germany, I think, or somewhere Austria, some Euro country, and so the time zone is a weirdness. But it's like it could be one of those things where I could do it kind of like the Westman thing, where it's like, well, I'm home all day, I can do whatever. Um, but to talk to him about AI, like how does this thing like take me under the hood? How does an AI in a 4X game actually think? Because when you and I play these games, we look at it like, almost like it's a role playing game, and the other AI is a character, right? So it's kind of like we tend to project humanity on them, and
Yeah.
it's good. Like if it fools you into doing that, but when you step back and think about it, it's like, what is this thing really doing? Well, it's got decision trees, right? And it has to assign like weights to options. Like, okay, this option is heavier than the other option because I should tend to do this more given so it's kind of like, well, I'm going to look at this factor and weigh my options, and then I'm going to look at some other factor and apply weight from that, and then when you're done, you look at how much do all your decisions weigh now that everything's been thought about, and then do the one that's the heaviest, right? So that in mind, and whenever you think about like in an RTS, the pathing, right?
Right.
So there are ways to trick the AI into doing dumb shit if you figure out like how does the pathing work, right? So because it's not human, it's not really looking at what it's like if you wiggle your right hand, you can do something with your left hand that the AI won't react to. Right. So it's like you can bait them like, oh, I'm going to put this army over here because they're going to run over there.
Right.
And that's going to mess up the decision tree. And he's not going to think about this other thing, And um, so at that point, I think when you get to think like the AI thinks and can outsmart it on that level, then it's a different game because then you're playing against, it's computer chess, right? Like you're playing against the limitations of the opponent. And maybe that's what the hard modes are for, where the computer just cheats like a bitch, is because like that's for those players that have figured out like, oh, I'm going to exploit the AI because I know how it actually does this. And you know,
Right.
but I would like to have both of those guys at the same time, really,
I
just
could
to let
definitely
them
try
talk to
that.
each other. And yeah, because it would be great. Because have you played Pandora with his AI? It's a beast. It's like I run into the other, but the thing is, like diplomacy still works and everything. So it's not like they
Oh.
went all warmonger. But if somebody doesn't like you, just look out. You better be good, because that the AI like doesn't do stupid stuff anymore. There's none of that like, oh, I'm gonna walk a guy to the left and then step to the right and then to the left. Oh, I'm out of moves. It's
Right.
like it was indecisive. Because there's like some really dumb things that it used to do. All that's gone, right? But that's the thing that cripples a 4X game whenever it comes out is if the AI is weak and it looks like, hey, I saw this thing and it didn't do the obvious thing. It did something dumb, or like whenever you're playing like Command and Conquer and I remember like old Red Alert, my guy is getting shot. Why is he not shooting back? Oh, I have to click on him and tell him what to shoot at, and it's just like, oh my god, this game is stupid. And of course they fixed that in later versions, but it's just like stuff like that. Like whenever I see the obvious stupid thing happening, then it's just like, oh, I don't want to play this anymore. And I think that's where it like bothered people, especially with Pandora. They were just like, this AI is dumb as a rock. And to the casual player, you wouldn't see it. But to people that kind of know what they're looking at, or you're observing the pattern of behavior over a couple of games, then
Right.
it's like, oh wow, this thing's dumb as a stump, and then I can just roll over it. So yeah, but I heard because Brad went on Explorminate and he was talking with Rob and Nate and discussing about Sorcerer King and how the AI works there, and that
Right.
he actually had to like tone it down because it was crushing the machine.
Oh no.
Because he's like, well, I developed on this 8-core monster, and then whenever you give it to somebody that's got like a i3 Pentium whatever, and it just clobbers their machine. So he's like, I had to back it down, but it does so many damn things. There's layers of AI that think about different things, and then they have a conversation with each other, about, oh, what should we do? So, and then there's this whole dungeon master AI that's running as well, and it decides, and it's not like against you. It just tries to keep the game interesting. It's like, well, you're having a hard time and you don't deserve it. So I'll give you a nice something happens, something positive will happen, and then, oh well, you're winning too easily, you know.
Right.
It's like suddenly bad things, and but it doesn't do it in a punishing way. It's just like it spices up the random a little bit. So
Right.
remember in was it Master of Orion 2, would they just have like random crap happen? Like, oh,
Oh
this
yeah,
planet
totally random.
exploded. Yeah. So it's stuff like that, right? But it chooses when to do it. So the first game that I remember that happening in, where it was like really touted, was Left 4 Dead, the original,
Oh
because they were
really?
talking about they had a director mode, right? And the AI would look at what the players are doing and just be like, it's starting to get a little boring. Throw some zombies at them. you know, they're doing too well. Throw more zombies, or
More
they suck,
zombies.
or they suck, right? And okay, I should back off a little bit, and
Right.
keep the game without having to select a difficulty level. Just provide enough resistance always to keep it fun, but not so much resistance that you crush all hope. you know. So yeah,
Right.
but I see that happening a lot in games now. That seems to be the trend of where things are going. And that one game, Hand of Fate, it's just outright bold about it. There's a storyteller on the screen, saying, and then this happened, you
I
know?
do. I do love that. I have to say, I do love that. I love
Yeah.
that game.
So this is Knave, huh? Oh, I've played this before. This game is super hard. Because
No, it
I
isn't.
thought it was like I cannot think of the name of the
Escape
game.
Velocity,
No, not Escape Velocity. It just came out this week.
because it's very much like Escape Velocity.
Well, yeah, kinda. I never can think of the name of his game. Like every
Void Expanse.
no, what the heck? I've got it on. It starts with P.
Oh,
Shit! He just released on Steam, and then he sent us keys, but I'd already bought it. You know what I'm talking about. Um,
uh,
oh my gosh.
uh,
Oh my god. It's like the same game as this, except not.
um, yeah.
Damn it. Hold on, I'll pull up my Steam list because I'm just it's making me nuts.
Yeah, I can't fucking remember what you're talking about for some strange reason.
Well, it's a free game, but it's $9 on Steam because
Oh, Transcendence.
Transcendence. That's it. For some reason, I was thinking it started with a P, and I can't. I'm thinking like words with P. It's not the. Yeah, Transcendence. Okay.
This game
Yeah.
is actually a lot easier than Transcendence in a lot of ways because a lot of it is.
Really, because Transcendence, I made progress. This game just beat my ass. Like
Really?
as soon as I got in combat, it was like you're dead. Yeah.
Really? Because I mean, combat is difficult, but
Well, you know why? Because in Transcendence, I take the freighter that's got the turret. I think that's why.
that'll do
Yeah,
it.
that'll do it.
That'll
Hey,
do
you
it.
want to talk about a game that's just hard as shit? Is
Yeah.
that spaceship or Starship Rubicon? Oh my god, it's so
Oh
freaking hard.
yeah, it's so hard.
Dude, that game is like the Demon's Souls of casual space games.
It really is.
Or Dark Souls or whatever the heck the name of that is. Well, no, the first one was Demon Souls, right? And then it was Dark Souls 1 and 2. Yeah. But it's just this game that is just like I'm going to beat your ass without mercy and you just will not win, but you'll keep coming back, right? Because you'll make it you'll make it to the second level, maybe the 10th time you play. It's so it's a lot like FTL because it's got the branching stuff, right? So you go forward, and then it's like, do I take the left or the right branch? And then you keep going that way, but you get a little bit of choice, right? Because you can look at what enemies are going to be there before you go.
Right.
But I was just shocked, like, the game looks, oh yeah, this is like asteroids or something, right? And then it's just like off the hook. It's you know the freaking laser gate guys where it's like these little round dudes and they put out laser beams and but it's like a funnel, right? And then there's two of them that get together and now you're trapped in a box.
Right.
And you can't move. So then it's like I have to kill one of these guys, right? And then they keep shrinking the box and killing you. Yeah, it's tough. So, oh yeah, and when you shoot the asteroids and they blow up, the asteroid debris actually kills you.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Love
you
it.
start, you got like 10 points, right? 10 points of life, that little life bar. And it's just like, oh, I blew up an asteroid. And then thunk, thunk, thunk. Oh, shit, I lost 3 hit points. It's like, what? So, yeah, it's a hard game.
Yeah, it is.
Very
That's
hard.
great.
But I enjoy it. It's like I could go play it. I'm not like frustrated with it, but like Dark Souls, it's just like I don't want to play that because you get like you get far enough in it, and then it becomes like memorization, right? It's like,
Right.
oh yeah, how does this boss whatever? Oh, I have to time. Okay, 1, 2, 3, dodge. And nah. But this other game, it's like so freaking fast and it's fluid, right? So there's no pattern recognition that goes on. It's just like you have to know, just on site, like, oh, I should go over here and attack this guy this way. But
Right.
then, yeah, but it's fluid because the enemies are random in their locations and stuff. And
Right. See, I think this game is a good casual game because the interface is pretty simple. Like if you've discovered a system and you want to go there, you open up your map, and oh, I can auto nav there. Just
oh, so
click it.
you don't have to navigate
No,
every system in between. You just
no.
jump across the galaxy. One, yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So all the Stargates connect basically.
Yeah. It's just that, but they're not. But they might not be a straight line. Like I'm trying to get up
But that's
here.
okay because you don't. If it's three jumps, you go in the first one, you come out the last one. You don't see the ones in the middle,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay, because whenever you're playing Void Expanse, you can autopilot, but you drop out of the gate, and then it will autopilot you through real space across the whole sector to the other gate.
Oh, that's what this does.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So it
Sorry.
doesn't
Yeah.
just hop you all the way. All right.
No.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. Oh, I feel like I'm going away from where I need to go. Not enough fuel. Oh, I gotta land. Gotta land and get some fuel. Okay. But yeah, like there's this border around your screen that shows all the planets and ships and gates, and if you right click on one of them, you just fly to it. And it's just that simple. And
That's
then
pretty convenient.
and yeah, and then travel, you just travel and you land and you do missions. And how do I fuel? Do I fill up? How do I fill up? I don't know how you fill up. Do I have enough money for anything? I don't. Okay, that's fine. But I should have fuel now. Yay. Okay. But yeah, this is a really fun game if you want to just fly around and do missions for like 20 minutes and feel like you accomplished something, or just, get into some combat. The combat, since it's isometric, it does take a little getting used to, like escape velocity type combat. Um, I'm not the best at games where I'm not. I mean, I'm better at games with first person
Hmm.
combat stuff, but games like this, I'm not the best at. I need to be able to actually aim at my shit. Um, but it's not terrible. Where am I? Okay. Ooh, I need to go there now. Go, go, go. Oh, I need fuel. God damn, I need fuel. Okay. I forget where my fuel is. Oh, I have no fuel. It's right down there. So yeah, this game is free. It's gonna be on Steam eventually. They got greenlit. I don't know what they're gonna charge for it. I mean, it just seems like what? Because you can just download it now for free. Um, but it is
Well,
a lot of fun.
they could put it on Steam for $1 or something, right? And then just make some a little bit of money
Well, maybe that's because
because it's
transit.
so easy. See, when it's on your own website and
Yeah,
you have to put up a shopping cart, and then somebody has to trust you to pull their credit card out and type
yeah.
it. It's painful, right? But and here's my suggestion to everybody that is going to have their own shopping cart on their own website for any freaking product: take Amazon payments, please. Not just PayPal. Take Amazon payments, because I don't like dealing with PayPal, but I do everything with Amazon. And if there's a little yellow Amazon button, I'm like, oh joy, click, and we're done, because it lands on my Amazon card. I get 3% back. Whatever.
I just
It's
got
great.
one of those.
Yeah, it's nice.
Is
So
it? Yeah,
nice.
I'm excited about it.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
I
because
use Amazon for fucking everything.
here's the thing. Think about this. You have an Amazon affiliateness, right?
Yeah.
So do you use it every time you buy anything?
No, I keep forgetting to.
See, so you need to make a link on your desktop or in your browser or something that is Amazon with your affiliate code in it, and then just use
Oh.
that to get there, and then it's done, right? Then because you're getting, I don't know what percentage they pay. What percentage is it? Is it like 5%, three
Something like
percent?
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So then the Amazon card gives you another 3% back on top of that. So figure you're getting 10% off everything.
Oh.
Now it's worth it, huh?
Oh.
So yeah, um, I dig it. It's nice.
How
So,
do I get to this
in
one?
in fact, my book showed up today. I bought Hammers Slammers, the volume one of the collection thing. Have you heard of Hammers
I
Slammers?
think I have. Is that the
It's,
Space Marine thing?
Yeah, it's hover tanks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like Team Yankee in space. It's awesome. I so I'm told. But yeah, because you saw the deal on Facebook. Like I posted that giant gallery of hover tanks, and I'm like,
Yeah,
damn it, I
yeah,
want a
yeah.
hover tank game. And then Mike wrote back, and he's like, yeah, well, Hammer Slammers. And I started looking at it, and I was like, damn, how come nobody's made this into a computer game yet?
Oh,
Awesome, because it should be really, like, it needs to be. Anything that is a tabletop miniatures game should probably be on a computer as a turn-based strategy game.
well,
That's
that's kind of where all that's where a lot of the early games came, computer strategy games came from, didn't they? They were all like
yeah.
adaptations of board games,
Yep,
right?
and they should be again, because board games have well, we're talking beer and pretzels, right? Board games have to have rules that are simple enough to be playable by humans without a frickin' computer, right?
Right.
Uh, okay, let's leave Advanced Squad Leader out because I don't know if you've ever played that,
I
but
have not.
oh my god. Well, you can play like Advanced Squad Leader, like the basic set thing, and it's not so bad. But when you start stacking expansions and shit on it, you need like a college degree in Squad Leader.
That's what I've
Uh,
heard. That's what I've
it-
heard. Yeah.
have you ever seen somebody that had a full binder of Starfleet battles rules? It's like a
Uh,
phone book.
yeah. At
It's
that convention,
ridiculous.
at that gaming convention, you couldn't
Yeah,
go to in Virginia.
yeah.
It-
God, I wish I could have stuck around for the second day of that. I should have took the day
oh,
off
you
work.
should have.
I was I was retarded for not taking the day off.
You would have loved
Um,
it. You would have loved it.
oh yeah, definitely. It's speaking of conventions, they just had LaveCon.
I heard about that.
Yeah, there was only like 100 and some people that showed up though, so
Well, you know.
it's not Dragon Con by any
So
stretch.
Mr. Rogers in YouTube says, couldn't they put a game like this free to play on Steam? And they could, but I mean, Transcendence. What they did is they had the base game was free, if you recall, and then right,
Yeah,
and then
base game's free. Then there's a $3 and a $6 expansion.
right,
So they bundle the expansions and $9, right? So you buy the game from them on Steam and you get all the expansions
right.
in the price, which is the same that you would have paid. So yeah, what is this mess here?
This is Galcon.
Ah,
Remember this
okay.
game?
Barely, sort of.
This is
Didn't the game? Is this like tutorial mode or something?
yeah. I
Yeah,
can't
okay.
skip it. I can't skip it.
Because what I remember, I think it was Galcon, or there was some game like this where you had like a web of planets, right? And then you were just sending fleets
That's pretty much
down
this.
port
And
lines. Yeah.
there have been copies of this game.
Okay, maybe it was somebody that made a copy of it that wasn't exactly this, because I never saw this tutorial thing.
Well, this
So,
is actually the second Galcon game.
oh, maybe the first one doesn't have it, and that's why.
Yeah, I don't know.
Perhaps.
Yeah, I do not know. But yeah, this is a game you could play real easily. It doesn't have much in the way of single player, unfortunately. But
So this is just like flock behavior, huh?
pretty much, you basically send fleets to different planets so they can take over
How do you
those
know? How do you
planets.
know how much fleets? Is that the number that's
Those
on
are
there?
those are
Like,
the numbers. Yeah, those are the numbers that
so how do you know how many is going to go? Is it half?
I honestly don't know. That's
Well,
a
let's
very
find
good
out. Like
question.
pick one. Yeah, it's half.
Is it? Okay, I
Yep.
guess it is. I guess it is.
Yeah, it's absolutely because you had 35. You clicked and sent them, and it went to 17. So yep.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so this is a game you could play really fast because it's basically just sending fleets all over the goddamn place.
This is like the frickin' cookie clicker of space games. What the?
It kind of is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of is. And that's one of the reasons it's worked well in multiplayer is because it's just it's quick to play. That's one of the reasons people like it so much. And understandably so. It is a fun game. It's very simple. Might be a little too simple for some folks, but if all you're looking for is some quick spacey action, this will get you going. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. Oh, wow. I didn't know you could send all your fleets to, I didn't know. Yeah, oh, wow. You can double-click a planet and send every ship you have to that planet. Wow, that's kind of crazy. Oh, is that what Mayhem Intergalactic is? A turn-based version of Galcon? Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Because I have that game. I've actually never played it. I got in a bundle or some crazy-ass shit. But yeah, this is a game you can play real quick.
We should actually, once a month, have Dan on the show. Because he's the frickin' bundle king. If anything is in a bundle, I get an email. Right? Or
Really?
something. Yeah, or he'll be on Facebook. He's like, dude, look at the bundle.
Dan, why are you letting me out of this treasure trove of bundle? I get like 3 emails for every bundle that comes out, but still, stuff slips through the cracks. I want a bundle. All right, so let's go to the game that just hates me, and I'm not fond of it either. This is a quick playing game, but you'll hate yourself afterwards if you have any type of anxiety. Fucking game. I hate this game.
Oh God, is it FTL?
It's fucking FTL.
I knew what it was. I knew it.
Yeah, it's fucking FTL. This game just.
You know what I want to see that you own is Space Rogue.
It's nowhere near as good as this. It's basically they copied this game, gave it like a 50s style aesthetic. They made it look.
Hey, that's like XCOM Interceptor.
And yeah, but I mean, it's not. It's just not as good as this. I was bored in 10 minutes. But have you seen Interstellaria?
Yes, I do own that.
Yeah, that's also pretty neat. Mr. Rogers, I did see you on Steam chat. I mean YouTube chat, and I responded. I said you said something. It's just I can't respond while Jim is in the middle of saying something. So I apologize.
And Jim talks all the time.
And Jim talks a lot. Yeah, he's a chatter. He's a
I'm
chatter.
a bit chatty. Yep.
You're
That's
chatty.
what happens.
So yeah, this game can be played real quick because you'll never last that long. Because the game hates you. It'll never last that long.
This game hates me.
It really does.
So
it does.
Apparently, if you do well, which I've never done, you actually get better ships.
Yeah, no. I have never.
I have never seen the second level.
Neither
I've
have
played
I.
this game for 20 years. Oh man.
Yeah, I've never gotten anywhere near the end. Ever.
Hey, what about Subspace? Would you call that a?
Yeah, because those matches play really fast. That's a good one. Those matches play very quickly. So that is true. Yeah, those matches play real fast. So that's a good one. It's a tough game, and the people who are playing it now, they're like the experts. You know what I mean? They are.
Oh yeah.
Because they've been playing it since it came out, pretty much. And
because there's other games that are like that, like Altitude. It's Subspace with airplanes, kind of. It's fun. It's not free to play. Yeah, it costs a couple bucks, but yeah, yeah, it's worth it. Do you remember the biplane combat game? That it was part of Combat on the 2600, and then the Intellivision had a version of that too. And,
did you see that a game called Biplane got greenlit today?
No, I did not. Is it a side? Is it a side-scrolling biplane game? Oh.
No, it is not. A bunch of space games got greenlit today. One of them was that Pocket Galaxy game that looks really nifty.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
I should pay attention to Greenlight again. I haven't looked for a while.
I think you got bitter after a while and
I got just burnt out.
You did. You got burnt out and just needed to fucking walk away. And that's fair. That's fair. Mr. Rogers, I've not played XCOM yet for the same reason that I don't like playing FTL. because I'm terrified that I'm going to get too attached to my men and hate myself when they die. And I've heard the long war actually makes it even harder, and I don't want that.
Oh yeah, dude. I've played Long War, right? And when you play Long War,
Oh, I've
because
got altitude. That's funny.
oh, do you? Okay. Um, so when you play Long War,
Yeah.
it's so bitchin' hard, and the AI is just smarter in general, and more bloodthirsty. They don't pull any punches, and they send a lot more enemies. And
Right.
there's like little drone things that come out. Remember in Half-Life 2, they had those freaking spinning like saw blade drones that would chase you around. Yeah, there's fuckers like that in there. They don't physically attack you. They got little lasers, but they're just like little drone things that are, about the size of somebody's head, and they come in flocks and they suck. Um, and they fly, so terrain means nothing. And it gives you some advantages, and you start with bigger squads. Like you can send 6 guys on a mission right off the bat, and I think you can get squads up to 8. I think, but then the
Oh,
enemy has a lot more dudes too. Yeah, the weapons are a lot more deadly, and yeah, it's just it's the game is it's freaking hard mode. It's like turned up to 11. So I played that quite a bit, and then I went back to the vanilla XCOM, and it's like vanilla XCOM used to abuse me. No more. It's like a pleasure to play now because it's
really?
it's just like it's just like XCOM's like kind of casual now compared to what Long War was. Yeah, but I seriously encourage anybody that plays XCOM, just install Long War. You have to have the expansion for XCOM, the whatever it's called,
Enemy
Enemy
unknown.
Within. Yeah,
Enemy
Enemy Within.
within, or
Yeah,
whatever.
you need that because it depends on a lot of that stuff. Well, you can play it without, but then you miss a bunch of stuff too. So definitely have it. But what I found though is, have you not played it with Enemy Within?
I've not
Or
played it at all.
what?
I told
Oh
you.
my God!
I told you. I'm terrified of playing it. I have it installed.
No,
I, I,
no,
I
play
really
it.
am terrified of it.
Holy
I
shit!
know. I
Okay, so
know.
so play it on easy, okay, but
Okay.
um, play it with Enemy Within, and there's what they changed in this is there is Element X or whatever the hell they call it,
Right.
right? The meld stuff, and there will be canisters of meld, and they have timers on them, and it's usually like 6 or 10 turns. You have to get to it and touch it, right? And if you don't, then it just evaporates. The enemies tend to stick around that stuff for obvious reasons, but that is the currency with which you buy your super soldiers. So you want to get it, and you want to get it fast.
Right.
Um, but okay, so the meld stuff. What I did is I went the cybernetics route because you can also like genetically enhance soldiers and make fucking X-Men out of them, right? But I decided this playthrough I'm gonna go like cyber soldier guys.
Right.
So you cybernetically enhance these guys, which basically means chop their arms and legs off and replace them with metal, and then when they're enhanced like that, then they will interface into the mech suits, and they are straight up mecha, like anime style robot suits. So it's like giant robot with human head poking out the top, and
Wow.
they're awesome because they start out like you got like a flamethrower and a minigun. The
Right.
minigun only gets like 3 shots, and then you got to reload it. But they're pretty accurate, and you can get bonuses for like the dude doesn't take an aim penalty while he's in Overwatch. If you pick the one thing, you can get jump jets on them, so they can just jump to the roof of a building, shit like that. So I've got like 2 of those guys and like 4 normal humans that run around with them, and it's just godlike now. I don't lose people in missions. It's awesome. Like
Huh.
I was getting killed left and right earlier on, but no more because I got my RoboCops. And the thing is, they don't get injured. Like you can fix them because it's like unless they completely tear up the robot suit, the human inside never gets hurt. So it's not like, oh, he's out for 3 days because he got hurt in the last mission. He got a scratch. No, they're on every
Huh.
menu. So it's beautiful. But the thing is, it makes the game pretty easy too at that point. So that's why I say play it with that and go the cybernetics route.
Oh.
I could have a whole squad of 6 of them if I'd gotten enough meld.
Huh.
I think I don't think there's any artificial limit on it. I could have a full squad of freaking robots, and it would be pretty awesome. So, and then I built the little it's called a shiv, which is basically like a bomb disposal robot with a minigun on it,
Right.
and it's mobile cover because you can actually hide behind it with a human, and so I use that thing to scout. It's just like run it out in the middle of the street. Who gives a shit? I'll build another one. It's awesome. Yeah, but definitely. Oh my god, play that game.
Okay, fine. I'll play it.
Call in sick tomorrow. Tell them you got
No, I
Amazon
can't do
flu.
that.
You got Illyrium flu. You've been exposed to Illyrium 113. Must be quarantined with the game.
That's funny. Yeah, I hate this game though. I hate this game, but you can play it real quick. You
Yeah,
know? And I
unless
could,
you're good at it.
unless you're really good at it. But look, I just save and quit like that. I'm done. Look at that. Yeah, see, 20 minutes of hating myself, and now I'm done. Quick, easy, done. Wow, we've been talking about 2 hours. We should probably wrap this
Yeah.
up.
So what else was on the list? Let's just rip through the list, right?
Okay, hang on.
So we had Void
Short.
Expanse on there, which
Yeah, that's a relaxing game you could play
yeah.
for a little while.
Yep, and my server's up. So if you're on the Space Game Junkie Facebook group, there's a post and it reveals the secret location of my Void Expanse server,
Right.
and you can join and play with us. And then Neptune's Pride, I have no idea what that is.
Those are both like browser based strategy, like 4xy games. Those are things like you make a turn a day, so you could play like your turn. You set up all this shit to do in your turn in like 20 minutes, and you're done for the day. So
Oh
that could
yeah.
that
So
that
it's like freaking Star Traders,
yeah
like a BBS door game.
yeah
Awesome.
yeah. It's pretty much like what those are. Smugglers 5 or the Smugglers games are kind of like these turn based elitish open worldy top down things that are pretty easy to get into. And Space Word Ho is kind of the granddaddy of them all. I just couldn't get a copy that runs.
So is that like a space business thing,
No, no,
or
you
is it
might
a?
you're
I'm
probably.
thinking of Space Bucks,
I was
but
about to say you're thinking of Space Bucks.
yeah.
Basically, Space Word Ho is kind of a 4X, but it has only it strips it down to like the bare essentials. You take a planet and you just there are two resources I think is energy and metal, and you use more energy and metal to build more ships to take more planets and fight other bad guys. It's pretty simplistic, but a lot of fun, and the AI is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So it's like a classic. And oh god, hang on, because like you can buy. I don't know if they made it work though. Hang on, you could buy.
Friggin' good old games, man. They need to do it.
Well,
Get it done.
the folks at Delta Tau who originally made it, they're still making it. You could buy Space Word Ho, but it's only a Mac game. It's version 5,
I weep.
and
But I do have a Mac.
it's $30. Or if you want to buy two serial numbers, it's $40, so it's $20 a person. But basically, it's basically when you colonize a planet, it gets a cowboy hat, and then you just you fight other guys. It's very straightforward. You know what's not straightforward? Did I tell you I started playing this again? Stars. That is not straightforward. Remember
Oh
that
yeah.
one?
I
Oh,
remember Stars way back in the day, but
way.
I never had it because
Oh,
I was pre PC. I was like on an
oh,
Amiga and they didn't
that
have it.
that
So
game is like Windows 3.1 interface. I'm not
yeah.
lots of drop downs,
Wow.
lots of right
Um,
clicking.
you
Yeah,
know,
that game's
Space
amazing.
Bucks. Um,
Yeah, we're doing a
have
show on
you
that.
have you played Space Bucks? I have it.
So
I,
many fucking years ago. I,
okay,
I
so
barely even
so
remember
it's
it.
the abandonware sites have it. It's
Yeah, of
hard to
course they do.
find because
Of
it's
course
not
they
very popular,
Right.
but I found it finally. I had to dig. Um, it is a Windows 3.1 interface.
Yeah, sure
It's
is.
seriously like the
It
wow.
sure is.
And but it's cool though. I mean, it's kind of like when I'm playing with that thing. from the ground up and I'm making
Yeah.
a space trader game, something, I would have kind of made something like that, but more like roguelike. Like, okay, you start with one spaceship, but you fly it around manually, kind of like you do in Nave or whatever. You know, it's like fly it to this planet, pick this up, fly it to that planet, drop it off. You know, buy fuel, whatever, and until you get enough money, and then you buy a second ship, and then you can actually hire a driver and
Wasn't
automate it
that
out,
wasn't that
right?
Star Reach? Remember Star
Um,
Reach from
oh God,
1994? Yeah, you
mm,
got to fly around the ship and you'd go from planet to planet. You'd manage your shit and you'd do missions with your ship. And yeah, that game
yeah,
was.
but did you get multiple ships though?
I
Because
don't
that's what I'm talking.
remember. I
Yeah,
don't
because that's what
remember.
that's what
It's
I'm talking about is like once you got enough money that you could get a second ship, then you would automate that ship, but you have to pay the pilot, right? But you just set waypoints, and it's like you're gonna fly these waypoints and you know buy and sell these things on your way, and
right.
then make enough money, you get a third ship or whatever, and eventually it becomes Sid Meier's Railroad Tycoon in space,
Oh, I love that.
because the whole deal, right? In Railroad Tycoon, it's like, okay, I buy, I build a train track, you know, I put a train station right down like where this cotton farm is, and
Right.
then I build train tracks up to the big city where the factory is that has a textile mill. So I've linked the supplier and the manufacturer. So now the textile mill starts crapping out t-shirts and underwear, and then I have to haul those over to New York City where there's a market for it because there's a department store or whatever, right? So you're basically like building a supply chain and then becoming the transport guy. But it's a monopoly thing because you own the track and you don't have to let other companies on your track, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, well, like, shit, man, you could do that as a space game. You know, just take Railroad Tycoon, instead of cities, it's planets, and instead of train track, stargates,
Yeah.
you know, or something, right? And then, but you own the ships, and you have to pay maintenance on the ships, and you
Right.
can throw money into research to get better parts for your ships, or you know, upgrades or whatever. So then it's like, well, do I buy a new ship, or do I refit my old ships, or do I what? You know, and it's like, God, you could do so much with that. And it's just like I'm playing Space Bucks, and I'm thinking like, yeah, I could do a merged remake of a combo of Space Bucks and a Railroad Tycoon, and it would be freaking awesome. But I don't know if there's a market for that or not. But maybe there is. People just don't know they want it yet. But I think that's, yeah, pretty cool. The only other thing that we really absolutely must cover
Yeah.
this week is the Oculus Rift Robot Jocks game. Did you did you watch the video?
Of course I watched the video.
Holy shit. I I bought an Oculus Rift spiritually. Like that moment, I was just like, all right, we're done.
Well,
I'm
I'm
in.
not. I mean, I'm gonna get one eventually, but I gotta upgrade my PC first. So that's like a year or two down the
Yeah,
line.
I don't know what it's going to actually take to push that. Like
It's probably gonna take a
it's two
lot.
1080p screens, right? So if you can run double 1080p monitors at 60 frames a second, you should be good.
Right, but
So I wonder if that's like if that'll make SLIs important again.
well, probably.
Because
All I
shooting
know
cards.
is that 3D Mark thing I got to help benchmark my system.
Uh-huh.
It has a listing for Oculus
Oh,
Rift,
nice.
and I'm like halfway there right
Oh,
now.
well, you just need two computers and you'll be
I
fine.
just need two PCs slaved together like Whopper. Just put them together. So I wonder, are we gonna have Hunter back next week?
I think so.
I think
I don't
so.
know.
We're gonna
He's
talk
not
about.
that far away. I'll just go down and kidnap him.
Have you guys actually hung out
No,
yet, or is he too
not yet.
crazy with moving?
No, he just like got here, and I know that he's probably unpacking. And if I go there,
Yeah.
I have to unload. No, I'm not
No,
gonna
that
do that.
makes
I'm gonna wait.
sense.
I'm gonna wait till the manual labor's over, and then I'll show up. Be like, hi, you know.
Right. Oh
um.
shit.
So, other stuff, just real quick
Yeah.
on the list. So, Ring Runner. That's kind of beer and pretzels to me.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah, I can see
uh,
that. Yeah, ring
right,
runner.
pixel junk shooter also. That's also we were talking about like couch co-op,
Yeah.
pixel junk shooter.
Really?
Um, yep.
Hmm.
Dead Knots
Dead
is it,
Knots?
yeah. Have you or Dead Knot? There's no S on the
Have
end.
I
Have
played
you
that?
played that?
I wonder.
That's the game. Um, it's like you're sitting in in the control thing of the spaceship. Okay, so like in
Oh, I do have
Aliens
it.
when
That
okay,
game
like in
scared.
Aliens when they
Yeah.
were they're in the
Yeah,
Marines.
you're the lieutenant back on
Yeah,
the ship guiding them through this little like scanner thing. You're like, oh god, that game is terrifying.
yeah, yeah. Well, and what it is, it reminds me of Sentinel Worlds 1 because your guys are just blips on a map,
Oh, right.
right? And
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh well, I got my blips here, and then you have to actually read what the guys are saying. They're like, yeah, there's like a door here and a whatever, and then you give them orders like, okay, you go over there and hack the door, and you stand over here and cover that hallway, right?
Right.
But you can't see shit because you only see what shows up on the sensors, right? So
Yep.
it's almost like you're looking at their motion tracker, and it's like boop 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 boop. Oh shit, something's coming. I don't know what. You know, it's a blip, and you put your guys, and then where you see like one of your dudes will scream, and then you see his dot like getting drugged down the hallway, and then his life meter goes flat, and it's like, oh shit, and yeah. So it's pretty neat because the game is it's like FTL level of tense, but worse because you can't see anything and your imagination, it's like horror movies when you're a kid, right? Like the thing that you don't see is far scarier than the monster that they actually put on the screen. All right, so that game
Right.
kind of plays that. It's just like, imagine how horrific this is. What's the worst thing you can think of? Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah,
So
that game scared the crap out of me. It really
it's
did.
all about
It's
like
so
limited
tense.
information.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can I keep my guys alive? Limited information, and it's just their observations is all you see. You know, they'll describe stuff, and it's like, if they're not perceptive, then you lose. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. And then you also, I don't know if you've played it enough to know, but some of the guys don't get along together, and if you put them in a squad together, their stats suffer. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so you got to like go over and actually read their personal dossiers and figure their personalities out and decide like who's in what with who, and oh, I don't want these two people to stand next to each other and whatever. Yeah, it's there's a lot more depth there than you think. And the game is balls hard. I've never seen the second level. Let's put it that way. Or no, I did. I survived the first ship and then died in the second one. So, because it's like playing Space Hulk, but all you can see is the radar.
Right.
And it's I don't know, man. It's like haunted ships. You know,
Yeah, it's
there's like
really
frickin'
creepy.
there's like
And
frickin' supernatural bullshit going
yeah,
on
and
the
they're
ship.
procedurally generated, which is why I bought it, obviously.
Yeah.
Those are my tweak words. But yeah, that's a good one too. I gotta play that Space Commando game more. That game is balls hard, but fun.
Yeah.
Balls hard.
Yeah, well, I like it though. I mean,
Oh,
it's
I
kind
dig
of
it. I dig the fuck
it's
out of
like
it.
it's
Yeah.
XCOM-y, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like it.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. It is great.
as far as I've gotten is you get to the second floor of the
Yeah.
first level, and you there's like all those fucking bugs that come boiling up out of the vent, and I
Yeah.
tossed a grenade down the vent and kind of sealed it off, and then I was able to get through that. Well, then like the next room is like full of water or something,
Whoops.
and there's like shit in there that was just murdering me, and I was not prepared. So it's like, oh, start over.
Yeah. It's great though. Ultimate
Yeah,
Space Commando people.
yep.
Great.
It's expensive. That's another thing, right?
Is
Where
it?
it falls in. Yeah, it's like $20,
Oh
right? And that's the thing
yeah.
that people hesitate because they see those pixely graphics, right? And it looks like a game from maybe 94, 95,
Oh, well,
something like
the
that.
interface doesn't help in that regard because it is an
Yeah,
interface from '94.
right. I mean, it does. It looks like a rebooted thing that came on floppy, right?
It really
And
does. But guys, seriously, it's great.
it is.
It's
It's really good.
great.
It's got a little bit of a pacing problem with me because it's kind of like I don't know. You know the other game that is a lot like it is Halfway.
Oh, I haven't played that yet.
Oh shit, dude! Stop, drop everything, play Halfway.
I got it like on GOG. It was like on Super Sale or something.
Yeah, so it's the same game kind of, like,
Oh,
except that it's a story. So it's like dude and girl wake up out of cryo sleep. Oh shit, where are we? I don't know what's been going on the ship. And then of course the crew has space madness, so they're like not
space
zombies.
madness.
Yeah, they're like not zombies or whatever, but they act like
Right.
zombies because they just charge at you. But they're smart zombies because they can use guns later. So yeah, so it's just kind of like figuring out what the fuck went down on this ship, and it's pixely graphics, but they're nice. And there's a lot of like containers to search and whatever, but the movement, the turn based stuff is like it's pretty cool because you only get like two action points, right? So you move and shoot, move twice, shoot twice, split it up. It's something simple like that. I haven't played it for a couple months, but um, it's nice. Another game that will remind you of that's frickin' brutal hard is Steam Marines.
I haven't played that one yet.
Imagine it's like a kind of Gene Stealery. It feels like a Warhammer 40K but steampunk. But you're on a spaceship and fighting aliens and corridors and stuff and turns. So it's a bunch of games that are kind of like that. But then again, that goes back to Julian Gallup's lasers.
Oh, you want to hear something crazy? I just saw
Uh,
this I just saw this randomly. This is gonna be a political thing. No, let's. I'm gonna show it to you after the show. So, guys, next week, I guess Hunter will be back, and we're gonna talk about movie and TV show spaceships. Something we really haven't. We've broached it a bit, but we're really gonna get into it
there's only
next
one.
week.
It's the Eagle from Space 1999. No, wait. It's the what was the thing in UFO? It was
Uh,
the something
I
diver.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's
No,
awesome.
it's the flying submarine from the what the fuck was that
City Under
submarine?
the Sea.
No. The one with the futuristic submarine. It was a movie
Right.
first.
Well,
No, it
there
was a
was City
movie
Under the
first.
Sea, and it
No,
was a yellow manta submarine.
no, it was a flying.
Uh,
Oh, what the fuck was it? Hang on.
well, there was one that looked like a manta ray.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. It
that was
was
City Under the Sea.
no.
Yeah. Yep,
No.
I own it. You cannot dispute my movie collection.
Wait a minute. Voyage to the bottom of the sea.
Oh, that too.
That's
Okay.
what I was thinking of. Voyage to the bottom of the sea. First,
Maybe
it was a
City Under
movie.
the Sea was like the Italian title.
It had that really stingray-ish looking submarine
Oh, yeah,
with the giant
absolutely.
windows in the front.
Mhm.
Remember? And then it had that flying submarine. That's the best
Well,
ship.
but okay. So
Kidding.
this came up, right? Apparently at LaveCon or
Right.
something, because there was people could ask questions of whatever. So the Manta was also a ship in Elite, right?
Yeah.
And it was a manta ray because it was inspired by that flying submarine. So the thought is planetary landings. What about you reintroduce this manta spaceship, and then it's a submarine when we land on the planet, and we can like cruise around in the oceans and shit. And they were like, yeah, well, that's not entirely unreasonable or something. And it's like, really? Like, okay, so we're not just gonna have like procedural, land on the planet, whatever, but also go under the water and whatever. So I think they're, man, it scares me because it's almost like they're promising that Elite is also going to incorporate No Man's Sky or some shit. And it's just like, no. Like planetary landings would be fine if you just like land on the planet and pow, you're in a city. It would be like
Yeah.
privateer, right? Like, oh, well, I'm landing on the planet. Okay, and then there's a city that you go to or something, right? And I don't. They're talking about. They too are talking about first person mode. Where you run around and whatever. And it's like that's what's freaking murder and that other game that we don't talk about anymore. So it's just like, God, why? I don't need that. Just let me land on the planet. Just make it a space station.
Wait,
Like
what
any,
other game don't we talk about anymore?
Star Citizen.
Oh, nah. You know what? I think I'm going to just put that one in the back of my mind for now.
Mm-hmm.
Wait like 2 more years and then see what happens.
Right.
Because when I saw that Elder Scrolls Online, which I just got, and it's beautiful, by
Oh,
the
did
way,
you get Elder Scrolls Online?
it was $12.
Oh, good. Yeah, because Dan and I are gonna jump hardcore into that. Maybe Joan too. So
Yeah, and it's beautiful.
he was
And
making me some armor last night. It's pretty
I,
great.
I was enjoying it, but that took 7 years to make. So once I heard that, I'm like, oh, maybe we should relax a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to put that back there. But anyway, next week, folks, movie and TV spaceships. Hunter will be back. If you have a favorite, hit me up on Twitter, Space Game Junkie. I'll be asking around about what's your favorite movie. I mean, some people have said the Yamato, Mr. Rogers, Meister Rogers. The White Star from Babylon 5, apparently. The Eagle, someone was with you on that. Mr. Rogers was with you on the Eagle. I said TARDIS because, come on. It's the best. Anyway, folks, we will see you next week because I got to go to sleep. We've been talking over 2 hours. So, any last words, Jim?
Yeah, the Mega Maid. That's actually the best movie.
She's gone from
or
soap to
or
blow.
what about like the big Jewish star thing? I forget what
Well,
that's actually called.
Jews. They never gave them.
They
a
never
name.
made
They
Jews
never
in
had a
space.
name. They never had a name. They were just those ships from the Jews in space bit.
Right, but I mean the actual Jewish six-pointed star symbol.
Star of David.
Logan David, yeah.
Star of David.
So the
Yeah.
Star of David, yeah. So the
I
intergalactic
still
Star
want that
of David.
movie. I still want that movie.
I don't. I really.
I want that
do
movie
not
to-
want them to do it because if they make more than what's there, they could disappoint me. But
Yeah,
if
it won't be as
it's just
good.
the taste
No,
of like, oh my god. Because when you watch that, I've just watched the clip. That I posted it up on Facebook for you guys. But I just watched that little clip, and I'm just like, my god. They put so much effort into that little 30 seconds of Jews in space that, yeah, I mean, it looks legit like a LucasArts thing from the era. The way Star Wars looked back then.
Right.
It's just like they spent money on that shit. That's not a CG model. Somebody made a giant freaking Jew Star Destroyer. And that's the best part, man, is they did all that work for 30 seconds of magic.
I know. It really is magical. It
And only
really
Mel
is.
Brooks can get away with that shit.
Only Mel Brooks can get away from that.
Especially in our modern political correct.
When Goya
society.
attack us. It's like, oh my god. What? Really? That's great. Anyway, folks, we'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
All right.